To draw the cheval mirror, open a new file and a new part. The first step is you are going to draw the leg base. This is drawn on the right plane. On the right plane you are going to look normal too. And once you are looking normal too, you will then draw the profile of the leg. Now the profile of the leg starts from a rectangle. So you will start with a rectangle shape and you will draw it anywhere on the screen. Now after that you will smart dimension the leg with a length there of 340 and smart dimension the thickness of it with a dimension of 40. To bring this back into the full screen, touch the letter F. Now this corner here and this corner here have a fillet, so we will sketch a fillet using the sketch fillet on our sketch toolbar. So sketch fillet, select it, put in the radius of our fillet, which will be 20. Then select the corners and a red dot will point up when you are on the corner. So it's this corner and then this corner. Now the next step is this line here. The midpoint of this line is going to be made coincident with the origin. And how we do that is we select this line here, right click, and up here in the top of this it gives us the option of selecting the midpoint, and we'll select this. Now you can see right here our midpoint is gone green and it's selected. To add a relation between this and the origin, you hold down Control and select the origin. Now over here in your feature tree you have the option of adding a coincident relation. Now this makes this sketch fully defined. We are ready to extrude this, so we will go to our features and extrude boss base. Select this and we are going to extrude this in a mid-plane condition to a thickness of 30, and we'll tick OK. Now we have the base drawn. We'll rename this to leg base. So the way we do that here is we click on it here on the name over there and push F2. When this little box comes up around it, means you can type in whatever you want to call it. I'm going to call it leg base, and just click anywhere and it's now leg base. Now we're going to draw the upstand of our mirror, which we will do in the right plane. So we'll select our right plane again, normal to it, and what we're going to do is we are going to open up our sketch toolbar and we're going to put in a center line, and we're going to draw a center line coming straight up from the origin, and we'll snap it up vertical. Now the little yellow symbol there means it's vertical. You can see when it's to the side it's not vertical, but it snaps to vertical. Then what we'll open is our line command and we will draw a line up vertical, and then we will draw out a straight line, and using the curve feature on SolidWorks we'll draw the circle, a semicircle around, draw a line straight down to the base and close the profile then. Now what we'll do next is we will knock off our line command, and with the center here of the semicircle we will make that coincident with this line. So we select the center, Control, and we select the center line. We make them then coincident. Now we're ready to smart dimension all these features, so we can click from here to here, and this is going to be 44, then 300 from there to here will be 300, and hit the letter F and it brings it all back in, and that should fully define our sketch. Now we are ready to go to our features and extrude boss base. to give this some thickness. And this time what we'll do is we'll just rotate our sketch, and as you can see there, it is extruding in a blind condition, but we want it in our mid plane like the last time, mid plane, and at this time we want a thickness here of 20. And you can see there, that's our piece done. Now the next piece that we're going to do is we're going to rename this here as right leg. So we will click here on the word extrude to, F2, click it, F2, and then right leg, since it's our right leg. Now click anywhere off the screen then. So we'll select this face down here, and we're going to bring a cross rail out. So that's selected, and we look normal to it. Now we're going to zoom in on this section down here, and we're going to draw a rectangle for the cross rail. And this time we're only going to draw half the rectangle. So zoom to area up there, the little square around it, and what will happen is if you left click, it'll draw out a box and it'll zoom in on that box. Now open up our sketch toolbar, since we want to do a sketch, and we'll sketch a rectangle. So we'll just sketch a rectangle anywhere down here, any size. Now what we'll do is we'll knock off our rectangle command here, and what we'll do is we'll select this line, or we'll select this line here, control, and select this line here, control, and this line up here, and we'll make the two of them collinear. We will do the same with this line, control, and this line here, and we'll make them collinear. This then therefore means that this rectangle can slide over and back, but it can move up and down this way. And what we'll do is we'll smart dimension it from this section here to be 10, and this section up here to this line up here to be 5. Now what we'll do is we'll extrude that sketch, and as you can see, when you rotate your sketch around, we want it extruding out this way. If your extrude is going into the piece, this little button here, reverse direction, reverses the direction of our extrude, and we're going to extrude that in a blind condition to 150. And the letter, just tick that. Oh, sorry, the letter F there is just causing some problems. So just 150, and just OK. And hit F to go back into full screen. Now you can see what we have done here is we have drawn half of our mirror frame. But what we're going to do next is we are going to use the mirror feature to mirror this side over to here. But before we do that, what we're going to do is we are going to put a plane in on that little surface down there, and we are going to use that as our mirror plane. So to insert a plane, we will go to insert up in the top of the beside file edit view, insert here, and down to reference geometry, and then from reference geometry you'll see plane. You select the word plane, and what we're going to do is we're going to select it through a line, or we can select our plane here as the options where you want your plane. So what we'll do is we'll select this plane here, and we'll select this little surface down here. Now if we look at our plane down here, you can see there that our plane that we're putting in is the yellow outline, is a distance away from the surface. What we can do here is we can change this to 0, and then it will sit on that surface. So we can tick OK. Now the plane down here looks very small for when we want to be drawn on it, and these little buttons or dragger icons, what we can do is click on these, very similar to a picture in Microsoft Word or PowerPoint. You can extend and drag it out. Now once our plane is drawn, the next thing that we're going to select is our mirror icon, so we'll select mirror. Now it is remembered that we have selected our mirror face or our plane. It's remembered we've selected this plane that we were last using it on. So now what we can do is we put in the features that we want to mirror. So we'll press down here and open up our feature tree inside our drawing screen. So what we want to do here is we want to extrude or mirror our leg base, our right leg, and our extrude tree. We will then tick our geometry pattern and make sure that these two buttons are ticked, and then we'll tick OK. Hit the letter F, and now you can see it has mirrored all of this. So what we'll do is, maybe we should have done this earlier, is we will rename our extrude tree. So click on it, hit F2, and what we'll do is we'll call that cross rail. We will call our mirror, then we'll actually leave our mirror alone. So once that's done, what we're going to do next is we are going to go to our front plane. And if you have a look at our front plane here, it is going through the middle of our icon, or middle of our mirror, and up to the frame. So once we select our front plane up here, we will look normal to, and we will just zoom out a small bit from that, and zoom out from that a small bit. We'll open up our sketch toolbar, and what we'll do is we'll put a center line from the midpoint down here up dead straight, and from the centers of the circles over here, and we'll draw another one from here over to here. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to put in an ellipse for our mirror, and our ellipse is inside our tools, sketch entities, and just come down below the 3-point arc, and there is our ellipse. What we'll do first is we'll select the intersection of these two center lines, and that's going to be the center of our ellipse. So what we'll do is we'll select there, and we'll just come down and we get our major axis, or our major circle. So we just click along the center line down there, and now when you go to move out, you get your ellipse, and just click to drop it. Now you needn't worry, because that's not going to be fully defined. We're going to fully define it then. So the measurements that we're going to use is we're going to go to our smart dimension, and we're going to click on the minor circle, which would have been here. You can see these little points. You can only dimension from them points. So select this from here to the center there, and we're going to make that 120. We're going to make from the center to the top to be 230. So 230, and you can see then that our elliptical mirror frame has become fully defined. What we'll do is we will go to our features, and we're going to go to extrude boss base, 10 millimeters now this time of a thickness, and we're going to do this in the mid plane, and we will tick OK. Now you can see that our ellipse and our mirror is starting to come together, and we will rename this over here, that extrude 4. Click on it, F2, elliptical mirror frame. Elliptical mirror frame. So once that's picked, we'll pick the front of the mirror here, and we will look normal too. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to draw another ellipse, and we're going to extrude that into our frame. So sketch again, and this time we're going to put in a center line across from here to here, and the exact same thing from the midpoint down here up. And what we're going to do then is tools, sketch entities, and ellipse, and use the same center here now, drag out our major axis and then just click on our minor axis and just drop it anywhere along that line. Now, next job is to smart dimension that with a minor axis length here to the center to be 100 and a major axis to be 210. Now it's fully defined, we're ready to cut that mirror out. So features, cut extrude, and what we'll do is we will go in a blind condition here and we will go to 2 millimeters and click OK. Now you can see when we zoom in here into our mirror, you can see that it has been cut extrude. Now our last little step there is we're going to put the pins joining the mirror there and there. And before we do that, we'll rename our cut extrude here to be mirror, elliptical mirror or glass mirror. So what we will do there is click on it, F2 and glass mirror. And take OK. We will select this surface for the pins to go through to join up with the mirror for it to rotate. Select that surface, normal to, zoom to area a bit here. So this is the area we want to look in on. And what we'll do is sketch, circle, and what we'll do is we'll just sketch a circle in there. We'll then add a relation, knock off our circle command, select the circle, control and the outer circle, and we will make the two of them concentric. Concentric is over there, it's just adding a relation. Smart dimension our circle there to a diameter of 6 and click OK. Now that's our sketch and has been drawn on that surface there. What we're going to do next is we're going to go to our features and we're going to go to extrude boss base, and since this is slightly curved here, it's going to be of a different distance and there's going to be a gap. But what we are going to do is instead of blind, we're going to select up to surface, and this little box here is asking us what's the surface that we want to extrude that up to. So we'll select this edge here on the mirror and we get a preview of it happening and tick OK once you're happy with that. Now there's a slight problem there. It's actually saying that the distance is 2 millimeters away from, so we'll put 0 in, what's offset from surface, up to surface, and tick OK. There's still a minor gap there. So right click on it, edit feature, and up to surface, and that's it, done. And we will zoom out from that a bit. And what we're going to do next is we're going to mirror that over to here. So we'll select our mirror command, and our mirror plane is going to be the same plane as we had earlier. The feature we want to mirror, which will be our last extrude, which is the same as there. So click on that, it'll go blue once you have it selected, and click OK. Now the next step is to mirror this pivot pin over this side. So what we'll do is we'll select our mirror, and this time we're going to select the plane that we used already, since it's exactly in the middle from earlier on. So up here, press the plus and it opens up the feature tree. Here we can select the plane, and then the feature we want to mirror will be the pivot, so we will select the pivot, and you will get a preview of it over there, and you'll just click OK, and that has the pivot done. Now the last little section is to draw the curved section that's going to be cut away down here. So we'll select that surface and we'll go normal to. I don't mind if it goes upside down because we can zoom in on it and have a good look at it. So what we're going to do next is we might zoom back out from that a little bit, so maybe about there, and we'll open up our sketch toolbar. We'll put a center line in. So what we'll do is we'll just select the center line that goes down through here, and what we'll do next is we'll draw a center point arc anywhere along that line, and what we're going to do is we'll draw from left to right a circle like that. We will close this profile here with a line, and what we'll do then is we'll put a center line just along here. Now the reason we're putting this center line here is we're going to make this center line, or add a relation between this center line and that arc, so that we can get a dimension up to there. So once the center line is in and selected, hold down Control and select the arc, and we can add a tangent relation. That means now that they're joined up, and all we're ready to do now is smart dimension. So we can smart dimension from that line to that edge there, and that's going to be 20. The radius here of this is going to be 30, and that has it fully defined. Once we've that done, is features, extrude cut, and through all. And make sure that the direction for your through all, so you can come out here and rotate, make sure that the direction is going through the whole object, and when that's done it cuts all that away, and we can rotate that around and have a look at it. Now we need to add some timber to this feature here. So the way we'll add the timber to this is up here at part 1, which will be our cheval mirror. We'll right click up there, and we'll go to Appearance and Texture. We'll come down to here, the section with the woods, and we'll come down and we'll select Mahogany. And when we have Mahogany, or maybe Mahogany or Beach, we will tick OK. Now this face in here, this face here will have to be of glass or a mirror. So what we'll do is we'll right click in here on that face, and you can see down here face, feature and body. Now face is just the surface, and we can change the appearance of the surface. We can feature, you can change the whole texture of the feature, which was the cut extrude. But all we want to do is just change the face of the change the appearance of the face. So face, appearance, texture, and this time we're going to pick some metal, and we'll pick some polished metal, and maybe we'll just try some of the chromes there. Chrome 5 is pretty good. Once that's done and you're ready to save it, so you go File, Save As, and you will save to your memory stick, which will pop up here if it's inserted, and then what you do is down here you call it cheval mirror, and hit save, and that's it, done and dusted.